Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's me again, as you might have guessed. It's only going to be a short one today. I didn't get many pictures today, so it's only going to be very short today. So I'm now in Washington. I left New York at 7 o'clock this morning. Well, 9 o'clock my train was. And it was quite a nice journey. You get to see a few of the bigger cities in this northeasterly part. So a nice little journey. And then we got into Washington about 1:30, and I walked up to the hotel. It's not too far actually. This one, it's a sort of fairly pleasant walk. And I actually had a nap because I didn't really get any sleep last night. I was having trouble sleeping, and then when I did go to sleep, when I did have the inclination to go to sleep, two blokes above me in the room above decided they were going to have a wrestling match. And I wish I was joking about that, but I really am not. All of a sudden, at about, I don't know, it must have been 3 o'clock in the morning, there was a shout of, "Hey, let's wrestle!" And then all of a sudden there was a big thump, and then one of them said in a rather hurt tone, "Hey, you didn't have to do that." And it did have me briefly wondering whether going up there and throwing them both out the window would be a reasonable thing to do. I decided it wouldn't. So I didn't do it. But I arrived in Washington. I had a bit of a nap, and then I headed out again, into the big old wide world. I took a stroll down to. I started at the Capitol building. I strolled down there because I'd seen that opposite the train station. The Grand Union train station is very nice, by the way. It's again covered in scaffolding. I don't know what it is that I seem to be drawing beautiful buildings that are covered in scaffolding, but yes, I think it's probably very beautiful underneath that. So I headed to the Capitol building, and I had a quick poke around there outside, having a look. They were setting up a load of music stands and stuff outside. I'd originally assumed the senators were going to give us a bit of a concert, but I did hear one of the chaps who was setting up saying there was the military band was going to be doing a little concert tonight. So after that, I sort of ligged about there a bit. Very beautiful building, I have to say. Excuse me. So then I walked down the National Mall towards the Lincoln Memorial. I did get all the way down to the Lincoln Memorial eventually. Having a look at some of the museums, working out what I need to do over the next couple of days. There's certainly, I think, 2 days worth of museums there that I shall be doing. Nice pools. They need to clean them. The pools are, I mean, they're pretty enough, but they're full of algae and weeds, so I think they need to clean those. Much like the subways in it. Oh no, I'm away from New York and I still can't stop thinking about the bloody subways. But I got a gratuitous picture of your gratuitous wildlife picture of the day. It's a duck. There were quite a few ducks, but this one in particular was strutting his stuff on the side of the pool, so I decided to take a picture of him. I got down to the far end of the pool and had a look at the reflecting pool. I went via the War Memorial as well. I thought it was appropriate, being the old 70th anniversary of D-Day and whatnot. I went to the War Memorial just to a quick head bow there, and then headed on down to the War Memorial, not the War Memorial, so I've been there already. The Lincoln Memorial. Sorry, can you tell I'm tired from the yawning and the complete lack of any coherence? Please nobody say there's never any coherence anyway. But had a look at the big pointy stick on a hill, or the Washington Monument as it's called. Got some pictures of that. I seem to be getting rather good at taking pictures of things with light behind them, because I think a few of the ones I got of that were of that nature. So I went into the Lincoln Memorial and I sort of looked up at the president sitting there in all his nobility. He actually looks quite dictatorial up close. It looks like he's about to proclaim somebody's doom, frankly. I think he's a member of the Legion of Doom secretly. but I read his plaques and had a poke around there. And then I headed back. I headed back a sort of circuitous route to try and find some dinner, actually. So I went up towards the White House. I didn't actually get to the White House today, but well, I saw the back of it. But I had a rather fantastic dinner, which is certainly the best dinner I've had since I came over here. And yes, that was wonderful. The Lafayette, it was. I can utterly thoroughly recommend the Lafayette if you ever end up in Washington, because it was a beautiful, beautiful dinner. So yes, and after that, I sort of walked. Well, as I say, I sort of walked home. I didn't sort of walk home. I did walk home. There's no doubt about that. At least I don't think there is. Maybe I'm not really here now. But yes, so I walked home. I had to go and buy a toothbrush as well because I seem to have left mine somewhere. So I had to go and buy a replacement for that, lest my mouth become a breeding ground for creatures so foul that even Satan wouldn't have them in his unholy hordes. Yeah, so I walked home. That's about all I can say, really. I haven't seen the metros here, so I can't comment on the cleanliness at this stage. I'm not sure how useful they're going to be, actually, because I am quite close, and a lot of things seem to be within walking distance. So we shall see if that actually becomes necessary. But yes, I mean, first impressions of Washington is a very nice city. It feels quite parochial almost. It doesn't feel like, it certainly doesn't feel like a capital city, but it feels very sort of local. It feels very, it's got a sort of small town feel to it. And it does change fairly quickly. I mean, I'm not actually that far out, but I'm staying I'm sort of right on the edge of what is sort of one of the more run down areas that I've seen so far. But it's still a nice place to stay, I have to say. But some of the architecture is truly beautiful. I mean, I know they're only cheap knockoff copies of European architecture, but no offense, but it is rather nice, I have to say. They're very grand and very white, very glowy. So that's my first impressions of Washington. I shall report back tomorrow. I'm actually tomorrow. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine over here, and we're going. I'm going to be at the Capitol Pride Festival, the old LGBT march. I'm going to be waving the flag for the Allies, as it were, there. So that should be interesting. I've never been on one before, so that should be an interesting experience. And also one other thing, I have got a travelling companion for the last 3 cities of my journey. So for Vegas, LA, and San Francisco, I am going to be joined by a travelling companion, which is going to be rather nice. So for now, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to see how long I need to make these pictures last to fit the audio, and that's me done for the night. So thank you very much for listening, and goodbye for now.